Just a couple days ago, we asked the question if Georgia is actually the #1 ranked team in the country. And I threw out a couple other schools who I thought looked really dominant in week one who could potentially, give Georgia a run for their money as the #1 team in college football. One of those schools was more of a long shot than any of the others, and that was the 19th ranked Miami Hurricanes. And am I still thinking, is that actual? Could they be the #1 team in college football? Why not, baby? Why not? With a 41-17 victory over the in-state rival Florida Gators, these Hurricanes look good, man. They built their team off of recruits and the transfer portal together, and it is a really fresh team. But enter some of those top portal recruits or transfer portal guys, Cam Ward, Damien Martinez. Are you kidding me? These two are absolute studs. Probably the highest quarterback, second highest quarterback that was in the transfer portal. Maybe you could say Riley Leonard was a little bit better. But Cam Ward, come on, man. And he looked really dominant yesterday with 385 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, which, was bad. It was early in the first quarter, so it didn't hurt him too much late in the game. But I loved his attitude about it, too. As soon as he threw that pick, and it was a bootleg left, throwing across his body, and just on the run, wasn't, it was a tough throw. Grazed the receiver, went into the hands of Shamar James, I believe, for the Florida Gators. And it was obviously an interception. And he went right to the sideline and said, bro, give me an iPad. I got to see what I did wrong here. And he fixed it, played super sharp throughout the rest of the game between the Gators. And, end result, 41-17, huge victory. Damien Martinez was another guy I just mentioned from the transfer portal. He had 65 yards, and he's just a good power back. He did his thing. He's a good third down back. I would have liked to see a few more rushing yards from him for sure. But on 15 carries, 65 yards isn't bad at all. All right, a 4.3 average is very, very solid. I would like to see Miami run the football a little bit more, especially when you do have such a lead in the game. But, man, it isn't just the offense. We're talking about the 385 yards from Cam Ward. We're talking about the 3 touchdowns. We're talking about Dameon Pierce. But it was the defense. The defense looked really, really good, holding Florida to really just 10 points. That 7-point was kind of a, we don't care about this touchdown. And 7 of the points of the 41 for Miami was a pick six, a 98, 97 something long yard pick six by the Miami Hurricanes. So come away with 2 picks, only giving up really 10 points. It was a dominant game for the U's defense. And as it should be. I mean, they've got talent on both sides of the ball. They're doing it really, really well. They're looking really, really good. And, hey, we got to give a quick shout-out to the 9th-year tight end. Cam McCormick got the first touchdown from Cam Ward as a Miami Hurricane. 9 years of college football. That is crazy. But Miami played one of those better opponents for a top-ranked team. And, of course, it wasn't Notre Dame beating Texas A&M. It wasn't Georgia beating Clemson. But, honestly, Miami looked way more dominant in this game. And this is strictly going off the eye test because, again, it's 41-17, which was really, in my eyes, 41-10. And we're comparing that to Georgia's 34-3. We're comparing that to Texas A&M and Notre Dame being a close dogfight the whole game. At the time of recording, USC and LSU hasn't played, but I'm sure that's going to be a great game as well. And we'll see if LSU can come up and maybe make a strong argument there. But Miami, dude, the eye test looked way better than anything else for Miami. The stats are here, right? The 385 yards and 3 touchdowns. The holding Florida's defense or Florida's offense to just 250 yards is impressive. And again, no touchdown passing, only 2 through the ground, and 2 interceptions to go with it. And again, one of those ground touchdowns was late game. Nobody cares. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. And they was playing with swag. You saw the videos of them going to dap up the Florida recruits and saying, we run Miami, or we run Florida, come to Miami. Don't go here. That's tough, bro. That is so tough. It was just a great game. This was the most rivalry feeling game that I actually watched yesterday. Yesterday at time of recording. But man, and I don't think Florida is a bad team at all. I think Florida could easily be a top 25 team, and that's why I am so high on this Miami victory. But it's a quality opponent. Graham Mertz led the entire SEC in completion percentage just a season ago, and now he completes barely over 50% of his passes. All right, he led it with 72.9, so 73% last year. Went 11 for 20, so what is that? 55%. And yeah, the ground game was pretty good for Florida. I'll give them that. 106 yards for Johnson Jr. on 11 carries, so that's pretty insane with a touchdown. But and as a team getting 139. So the defense, but come on, man, come on. I don't know. I'm just so high on this game. It just looked the most dominating because they were able to do it in the first half. A lot of the teams yesterday weren't able to get going until that second half. And now, I mean, I'm not talking about the 45 points, the 45-0 that Tennessee put up on Chattanooga, because we're not talking about an FCS opponent here. We're talking about a decent quality SEC team. We're in the Florida Gators, a team that I expect, like I said, to be in my top 25 by the end of the year, depending on the injury to Graham Mertz that he just sustained during this game against Miami. I don't know, man. The defense just looked really dominant. All right, it was a no-fly zone. They were going crazy. The receiving game was awesome. Xavier Restrepo, I mean, he looked good, man. He was lightning fast. He had 112 yards on 7 catches. Definitely Cam Ward's favorite target. But Cam Ward worked his way into my Heisman candidacy with that 385. You tack on another 33 through the ground and 3 touchdowns. The 1 interception is a bad look, but again, I don't think it's nothing I'm concerned about at all. Again, I don't know. I'm trying to encompass it in words of how good this team looked, and I just can't. This was by far the best eye test team that I watched yesterday. And I watched a lot of football yesterday. Again, it's hard to compare in week 1 because we have Tennessee beating up on Chattanooga. We have Ole Miss absolutely murdering Furman University. We have Ohio State putting up 52-0 or 52-3 against Akron. We have Texas, who just beat up on Colorado State. And Colorado State is a better team, but it's still not a Power 4 like the Florida Gators. So, yeah. I don't know. I just want you guys to keep an eye on the Hurricanes because this team looks so good, bro. Cam Ward, Heisman candidate, Damien Martinez is going to be a lot better than he was yesterday, I think, because he still looked good. Like, when I just read the 65 yards, I was actually shocked it wasn't a lot higher. But, yeah, no, dude. The defense looks really good. Though they only got 1 sack, they got the 2 turnovers. They got a lot of tackles for loss. They were in the backfield causing havoc. You know, they were doing the things that they needed to do. And the offense carried where they needed to carry. So it was just a good all-around team victory for the Miami Hurricanes. Does that put them as the best team in college football? Absolutely not. Because, yeah, it's hard to argue that Miami was the best team when Georgia beat the 14th ranked Clemson Tigers pretty handily. Even though it did take them a half to get going. And that's what's crazy to me is Georgia's team wasn't super transfer portal heavy. Like, they got some guys, don't get me wrong, but the way that they meshed took a little bit longer, took a full half of football rather than Cam Ward coming from Washington State. The quarterback, right, Carson Beck was there a season ago. Damien Martinez coming in. Now, the Georgia Bulldogs didn't have their running back 1. They didn't have the Travis Etienne, who was a Florida Gator last season. But you get what I'm saying. I'm just surprised they just played the most complete game of football on both sides of the ball, the whole game clock, the whole 60 minutes. That's why I'm high on Miami. But no, they are not the best team in college football, but they keep an eye on them. I would be surprised if they don't win. I think they're the best team in the ACC. I think they're the best team in the ACC. So you will see them in that 12 team college football playoffs that everybody's so excited about, myself included. But let me know what you think about the Miami Hurricanes. And what do you think about the Florida Gators, for that matter? Are they going to bounce back? Are they going to have a decent year? Let me know. I'll be in the comments.